Tucked away in idyllic settings amidst nature is a historic land called Tulunadu, an ancient province comprising Dakshina Kannada and Udupi districts of Karnataka, as well as Kasargod district of Kerala, home of the Tuluvas, whose mother tongue, Tulu, is one of the 5 major Dravidian languages.
ಈ ತುಳುನಾಡು ಹೆಸರೇ ಸೂಚಿಸುವ ಹಾಗೆ ತುಳು ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನಾಡುವ ಜನರಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರದೇಶ. ಈ ತುಳು ಭಾಷೆಗೆ ಲಿಪಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಲಿಪಿ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ, ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ ಜನರು ಆಡುವ ಭಾಷೆ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಭಾಷೆ ತುಳು. ಮತ್ತು ತುಳುವನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಸಲಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಜನ ಪ್ರಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಮಾತನಾಡುವುದನ್ನು, ಹಾಡುವುದನ್ನು, ಕುಣಿಯುವುದನ್ನು ಬದುಕಿನ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಭಾಗ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಜನರು ಆಡುವ ಭಾಷೆ. ಸೊ ಹೀಗೆ ಆಡುವ ಭಾಷೆ, ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೋಕನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಆಡುವ ಭಾಷೆಯಾಗಿರುವ ತುಳುವಿನ ಜಾನಪದವನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಅಗತ್ಯ.
Today, Tulu is spoken by over 3 million people. And though geographically confined, the region's rich socio-cultural legacy has made its indelible mark on the very fabric of Indian culture. The great epics of Pardana, the theatre form Yakshagana, and Bhutaradhani, form of worship, are glorious examples of this legacy.
Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sri Ganapati.
As with most ancient Indian cultures, the Tuluva culture has its own unique and very pronounced norms of social and moral conduct. A matrilineal family system, an agrarian society, a people dependent on nature, a hierarchical social structure, the solid value systems of Tulunadu are lessons in morality, behavior, and living in harmony with nature. They find reflection in the land's many epics, festivities, legends, arts, and last but not the least, in the folk games of Tulunadu. The folk games of Tulunadu are directly related to historical, cultural, and geographical factors dominating the Tulu region. Its land, water, and hills have had their influence on the development of these games. One such game, which has a reference in the Tulu Pardanas or the Tulu folk songs of Siri, is Chennemani. Games like Hulidana and Kagegili depict the love the natives have for animals. Agriculture-oriented Tuluva people symbolized Hulidana, or the tiger and the cow game, for their thrust towards animal protection. A game like Jubilee is played by young girls, which involves jumping and galloping. Being a hilly terrain, jumping and galloping is their way of life. So this game flourished in this region. It also gives an opportunity for the girls to come out of their social bondages. Another such game is Chinni Dandu or Kuttidone, popularly called Gulli Danda in other parts of India, in which activities such as running, jumping, follow-up, chasing, and many such activities are involved. Being from a hilly area, people are used to climbing, crossing rivers, and jumping drains. As such, these geographical conditions had an impact on their folk games. So, all these games have geographical and cultural influences. Apart from that, their affection towards animals is expressed through these games. Another characteristic of these games is their competitive spirit. All these games are played within cultural parameters. The folk games of Tulunadu are thus much more than mere frivolous play. They are mirrors of the Tulu legacy, melting pots of the old and the new, lessons in social conduct, and yes, they are excellent mental and physical developers. Let us commence the understanding of the socio-cultural depths of Tulunadu's folk games with Hulidana, or tiger and cow. Being a forest culture, the Tuluvas have learned to live in harmony with other creations of nature. The cow is a revered mother to these people. She provides milk, fertilizers, fuels, helps in cultivation, and brings good omen. But owing to the proximity of the forests, the cow is always under the threat of the tiger. To protect the cow is not merely a commercial need. It is a religious commitment and emotional necessity, considering her strong bonds with the natives. Hulidana is one of the most popular games of the Tulu people, as there is direct relation between society and this game. We can find this correlation more in this game than in any other. During the early period, agriculture and domesticating cattle was the main occupation of the Tuluvas. The surroundings were covered with thick forests. Being an agricultural society, cattle were very important for the Tuluvas. And so cattle was the main source of their economic prosperity. Tigers and other forest animals would take away or eat these cattle. People were afraid of these wild animals. This game depicts the same sentiments: tigers' invasion, cows' helplessness, and people's anger. Thus, tiger is the symbol of cruelty and pain. Cow is the main economic source and thus has an honorable and unique position in the social fabric of the Tuluvas. They treat the cow as their mother or equivalent. It is perhaps because cow is the major factor in their economy, their main source of livelihood. We find a reflection of this in the game itself. Here, a fort is constructed indicating their society. Tiger is looked upon as an outside culture. The society takes care that there will not be any cultural invasion. By protecting the cow, they preach the importance of safeguarding their culture. Protecting their culture and social values is the duty of every member of the society. That is why, in this game, they need to protect the cow. They do not allow the tiger to come inside the fort, which means stopping the outside influence. In this way, they do not allow the social values to be spoiled by foreign cultures, which is the tiger. If by hook or by crook the tiger manages to enter the fort, they feel the entire society has surrendered to the tiger or the outside culture. Normally, society does not accept outside culture, and so if that outside culture can break the fort, only then does it get accepted in society. This is perhaps the best example of how a folk game is born out of a social structure.
ಧನವಂತ ಧನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಧನವಂತ ಧನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಧನವಂತ ಧನ ಹೌದು.
Hulidana is a game that has very simple rules. The player outside the circle or the tiger needs to enter the fort, which is a chain of players holding hands to prevent the tiger from entering. The player inside the circle or the cow needs to keep the tiger from getting him out, and for doing so, the cow gets help from the players forming the circle. Though simple to look at from the outside, the game requires a high degree of fitness, agility, and presence of mind. It also develops amongst the players an instinct to collectively work towards an objective. Once the tiger manages to get the cow out, the game starts again with a different set of players as tiger and cow. In the ancient Tulu culture, it is almost impossible to discern the fine line between myth and reality. Myriad myths and legends live on in the natives' colorful imagination, indeed, in their way of life. And they come alive dramatically in the game called Chinnamani. Tulunadu is a unique region which still maintains and promotes its cultural diversity. It is politically, socially, and culturally quite different from the mainstream. We can see two main and broad divisions of indoor and outdoor categories amongst various folk games of Tulunadu. Chennamane is prominent amongst the indoor games. This is not simply played for entertainment. It is a game which even improves mental ability. We can find references of Chennamane in different forms of folk literature. Mainly we find references of this game in the Tulu Pardanas. There are many variations of this game. Primarily, there are 30 different types of games. Chennamane is played mostly in the month of Ati or the monsoons. When we look deep into the cultural heritage of the Tuluvas, we come across many more things. We see that the Tuluvas face various economic problems during the rainy season. So, to come out of their problem as well as to kill boredom, they play Chennamane. We find references of Chennamane in Tulu Pardanas, especially Siri Pardanas, where a special reference is made about the game. There are certain restrictions of play in this game. According to myth, certain types of family relations are not supposed to compete in this game. Sisters, father-in-law and son-in-law, husband and wife are prohibited from playing this game against each other. This may be because in the past, unpleasant incidents might have occurred between these relatives while competing in this game against each other. Chennamane is a mind game, much like chess, which involves a wooden board having 7 chambers on either side. It is played with manjotis, which are nuts of a wild-growing tree in the forests of Tulunadu. The game starts with 4 manjotis in each chamber. The player who starts the game picks up 4 manjotis from any one of the chambers on his side and moves forward, putting 1 manjoti in each chamber, left to right. Then he picks up 4 manjotis from the adjacent chamber to the one where he had ended and starts all over again till he finds an empty chamber. Manjotis on the chamber next to the empty chamber are said to be won by him. The other player then gets his chance. He calculates where he starts from so that he finally reaches an empty chamber which has maximum manjotis in the adjacent chamber. Also, the chamber which has 4 manjotis, after he has put 1 manjoti in each chamber, is said to be won by him. When all manjotis have been won, the player with more number of manjotis is said to have won that round. The players then proceed to once again put 4 manjotis in each chamber from manjotis that they have won. The player with lesser number of manjotis will now have some empty chambers. The winner of the round then puts a piece of paper called pothunu, which literally means burning, into that empty chamber. That chamber then is not part of the second round play. 5 such chambers won decide the eventual winner. In the ancient cultures, legend is legacy. It keeps successive generations firmly rooted to their origins. As such, a participative game like Chennemane is vital to the continuation of the Tuluva legacy. As the Tuluva girl approaches adolescence, it is imperative that proper social conduct be ingrained in her mind. There are do's and don'ts to be adhered to, actions to be abstained from, duties to be performed. The basic game of Jubilee involves marking out of an area that has 8 squares and a semicircular well. The girl starting the game throws the Jubilee, which is a flat piece of stone, to the first square. Then, hopping on one foot, starting with the square on the other side, the girl goes up to the well, from where she turns back and hops back to the square where she had thrown the Jubilee. Touching the Jubilee with her foot, she kicks the Jubilee beyond the starting line, still on one foot, and then jumps to touch the Jubilee with her foot again. If the girl succeeds in doing so, she gets a chance to throw the Jubilee to the second square and starts the entire process once again. If the Jubilee does not land on the correct square, or if the girl touches the line with her foot, or when she is unable to keep one foot off the ground while hopping, she is supposed to be out, and the next girl gets her chance. If the Jubilee is kicked beyond the sideline, or if the player is not in a position to jump and touch the Jubilee with her foot beyond the starting line, then too the player is considered out. In this way, one by one, the player is expected to take all the squares. Once that is done, the Jubilee is thrown to the well, and the player is expected to travel the distance to the well with her eyes shut. If she manages to do so, she then throws the Jubilee backwards, in a standing or a sitting position, as dictated by other players. Whichever square the Jubilee lands on belongs to that player. And other players choose parts of that square and are not allowed to touch their foot on the portion which the other players have marked. Similarly, other squares are marked, and the player who wins the maximum such squares is declared the winner.
ಜುಬಿಲಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಗೆಯುವ ಗುಣ ಇದೆ, ಕುಪ್ಪಳಿಸುವ ಗುಣ ಇದೆ, ದಾಟಿಸುವ ಗುಣ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಹಾರುವಂಥ ಗುಣ ಇದೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಹೆಣ್ಣುಮಕ್ಕಳು ತಮ್ಮ ದೈನಂದಿನ ಬದುಕಿನಿಂದ ಹೊರಬರುವ, ಚಿಮ್ಮುವ, ನೆಗೆಯುವ ಮತ್ತು ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತರಾಗುವಂಥ ಆಶಯ ಇದೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗುರಿ ಮುಟ್ಟುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕೌಶಲವನ್ನು ಇದು ಮನೋವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಇಂಥ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಅದು ಹೋಗಿ ತಲುಪಬೇಕು, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಅದರ ಬಹಳ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದಂಥ ಕೌಶಲವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಜಿಬಿಲಿ ಆಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದು.
The game of Jubilee teaches young Tuluva girls about the value systems that they must adhere to. It is played by girls before their first menstruation, and many lessons are to be learned from it. Walls should not be touched. Borders mustn't be crossed. One can go up to the well and no further. A young lady mustn't travel far unescorted. There is another reason why only women folk play this game. This is because of the direct relation of the game with their living environment. Different chambers are drawn on the ground. The shape of chambers resemble the layout of the traditional Tuluva house. These rooms are named as Devara Kone or worshipping room, Ajjiya Kone, which is the grandmother's room, etc. Thus, it gives the picture of a house. In this way, a young girl learns how to manage household affairs. Normally, girls between the age of 6 to 16 play this game. The girl learns social graces, and this is a training ground for them to learn how to conduct themselves. The behavior of the girl at home can be assessed from the way they approach the game.
ಆಧುನಿಕ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ದ್ವೀಪಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ದ್ವೀಪಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶಾಲೆ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಒಟ್ಟು ಸೇರಿ ಆಡುವ, ಅದು ಕೇವಲ ಮನೋರಂಜನೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಅನೇಕ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ, ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ, ಈ ಮಾತನ್ನು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ನಾನು, ಇವತ್ತು ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಶಿಥಿಲವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇವೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಜನಪದ ಆಟಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟುವ, ರೀಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇವೆ.
While entertaining and exercising the body and mind, these fascinating folk games of Tulunadu keep the land's glorious legacy alive. They give the Tuluva an identity that is unique and proud, ensuring that even if a Tuluva leaves, his legacy will never leave him. And that is one of the most important values in the game called life.